Go straight to West London where we'll talk about Chelsea. Chelsea are staying active. They've secured the Brazilian prodigy Estevao Willian for 29 million euros and brought in Dario Essugo from Sporting Lisbon. And Raheem Sterling is back from his loan at Arsenal. What does the signing of Estevao signal about Chelsea's long-term vision?
Yeah, it's about young talent. Groom them, let them go through the ranks, and sometimes cash in on them. I was telling somebody how many days ago that I think on a platform that Chelsea is tilting towards a business club now. It's not that club that is really ambitious that we used to know anymore. They are just for the business side of it, and if the trophies come, it comes. And if you know American owners, that's what they tilt towards most.
Well, yes, that you might look at it as a business side, but there's still some players who are being touted as untouchable in the Chelsea side. The likes of what's it called, Cole Palmer, the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, are seen as
how many of them have any club tempted Chelsea's result?
Yeah, anybody can come in, but how much are they going to?
That's what I'm saying. That's a Chelsea of under Abramovich. If you like, bring 500 million, he won't give you 30.
But you saw the what's it called, Eden Hazard at the prime of his career.
Eden Hazard wanted to go.
Yeah,
he had the clause in his contract. Only for Real Madrid.
I think there's also a clause for those players that yes, if there's a substantial amount being offered, then they can also.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why Chelsea will agree to that kind of clause is that they are a profit oriented.
Yeah, but we're going to business
company. Yes, you go into business for profit, but the way you set it up, you have to balance winning with your trophies, with your profit, because you have to consider the feelings of the fan, the average fan in the club. The average Chelsea fan suffered a lot. This just imagine a Chelsea fan having high blood pressure because they want to face Nottingham Forest. Okay. It is an insult, honestly. It's an insult.
I can see that as an insult. But we're still talking about Estevao. He will be joining Chelsea from Palmeiras after the Club World Cup. What kind of a player do you think he is? We've seen a lot of highlights about that young man at the age of 18. Taking the Brazilian league at Storm. Will he be able to take the EPL at Storm at that level?
Yeah, I think so, but Chelsea didn't just sign him. I think he has signed him about a season and a half ago.
Last season.
Is it last season or
last window?
So, and we've seen a lot, but I'm beginning to worry or wonder where he's going to play. For Chelsea. Now that Chelsea are bringing in
on the right.
But Chelsea are looking on the right.
Yeah. Where we have Madrid.
But I don't think he's going to bench it out for these players at the moment at Chelsea. He might come into maybe once.
Not Madueke. You can say it might not bench Palmer, but not Madueke. Madueke is.
He's going to bench Madueke.
He can.
I don't think so.
He can.
But let's just see. But there's something here.
The same none is on market. Is available to be sold.
But Chelsea is not selling none Madueke. I'm still
even good. There's no player that's not on the market.
One thing
about Chelsea is that there's no player who is not on the market as far as a good amount comes in. If Chelsea get a £50 million offer for Madueke today, they're actually going to sell Madueke.
The reason why I actually said that is, and I want to agree with what Yema said earlier on about Chelsea being on, buying those players for profit. Because if, one thing I've noticed with this era of is it Todd Bowley, because they've signed a lot of young players for Chelsea, and I've noticed that most of those players they've signed and sent on loan, none of them have come back to play for Chelsea in the last 3 years. You see that those ones that they want to use as first team, once they sign them,
Andre Santos is coming back from loan,
but we've not seen him. There's possibility he might be loaned back again.
No, I don't think
there is. But if you agree with me that most of those ones they've sold now are those ones they've also bought and sent on loan, and I think that is what I've been saying, because I've not. You've talked about Andre Santos now, but I've not seen him play for Chelsea. We were talking off camera about Isaac Casaide now. They actually brought, and there were a lot of.
They didn't buy Casaide. They were not the one who bought Casaide.
They bought him. It was it's Todd Bowley.
The first season under.
It was him. So they've sold. I think let's just go back to William Estevao. I think with a lot of things we've heard about him, and he has been called up to the Brazilian national team. There are a lot of Chelsea fans, with a lot of expectation, excited to have him. But I just hope he comes to the league and take the league by storm. Because
Yeah, I think my own biggest problem has to be, the pressure, the expectation on the shoulder of that young man. Looking at how Hendrick, find it hard to break into the Real Madrid up squad. I've seen Hendrick play some games for Real Madrid, and I'm like, yes, it looks like the hype is more than the talent in that young man.
He looks like
Estevão looks like a talented young man, but I really want to see what he brings.
You don't mention childish when it comes to Hendrick.
To me,
Hendrick, see, listen, Hendrick is a victim of Mbappe.
I don't think so.
No. Go and check. Look at his numbers versus the number of minutes he played in Madrid.
You mean in
Look
Madrid
at his goal in Madrid. Go and check his
from?
goal and assist with the amount of minutes he played. He even have Champions League goals.
I know he has
See,
Champions League,
he's
but
a
to
victim of Mbappe coming to the Real Madrid.
So
at the same
a
time,
victim of Mbappe now.
listen, not everybody. We are talking about Hendrick. We have not when you say everybody, we have been having no. That's an error. What you said is an error. See, you cannot say everybody. We just started a discussion. We are talking about Hendrick alone. If you say everybody, what other person have we spoken to that Mbappe has affected?
Well,
mention one.
Rodrigo,
that's not
and
the topic.
even
is Vinicius not starting?
But again,
English midfielder.
look at Hendrick's stats on last season. He has played 22 matches in the Spanish La Liga. He had just one goal, and also in the Champions League he played about
minutes. I'm not talking about matches.
9 matches.
Minutes.
You actually talk about it.
I said minutes.
No, calm down.
Minutes.
You talk about it.
I think Adagula is even better than him.
And you look at it in the Champions League, he played 9 games for Real Madrid and scored just 1 goal. That is
how many minutes?
That is 2 goals last season.
How many minutes?
Before talking about the minutes, we're talking about over 30 appearances. That means he's playing over 300 minutes for Real Madrid last season. No, the numbers are actually not there for me. The stats is not really.
I think Adagula is
even
having a better season than him based on.
Adagula is a midfielder. Hendrick is playing behind Kylian Mbappe. You can't compare.
But
you cannot compare
22 games in the Liga.
You can't say 22 games of 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
How many minutes? What's his minutes from your
2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Just go and check now. How many minutes?
Yes, that is 847.
I remember the Copa del Rey.
He actually averaged 847 minutes.
Most of it is Copa del Rey. Go and check.
847 minutes.
Copa del Rey. Check the Copa del Rey minutes. I know what I'm saying.
La Liga, I'm coming. Yes, he started 3 matches for Real Madrid in the La Liga, and he actually was substituted in 19 matches for Real Madrid. He was on bench for 15 games. So you playing 800. You playing 837 matches. We are talking about across all competition. That is about you starting about 12 to 13 matches for Real Madrid.
I don't think so. I don't think he started.
No, 9 times 10 is 900. We are talking about 9 times 10. That is 90 minutes times 10. That is 900. So you have an average of 10 matches.
When you see,
listen. Average 10 matches for Real Madrid.
For instance, a game that Madrid is leading 2-0, 3-0. They open give me. Hardly will you see Madrid looking for a goal.
Yeah, right.
And the next guy they bring in is Hendrick. Maybe because he's still young.
When we talk about statistics here now, we are talking about he played about 30 matches for Real Madrid last season. At 837 minutes. That means he's averaging 90 minutes in about 8 or 9 matches of those games. You can't tell me there are games where he just played up to 10
and I think he even had more minutes to me compared to Adagula.
Check his appearance.
He played now.
He played 90 minutes last season.
He played most. The 90 minutes he played mostly is from the Copa del Rey.
So why is not
I think even La Liga.
How many did he score?
He has 2 goals all through last season.
One in the Champions League.
He scored. Go and check.
1 goal in the Champions League.
And sometimes the sites are not. Check Copa del Rey. What's Copa del Rey?
7 games last season for Real Madrid.
How many goals in Copa del Rey?
That is 5 goals in Copa del Rey.
But you said 1-1. No?
1 in Champions League, 1 in La Liga.
1-1. You said no. The La Liga and the Champions League are the main leagues whereby it just comes in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What will it do? What will it do in between that time? The games he started, Copa del Rey, most of the games he started, he scored 5 goals.
Left to me, he hasn't really lived up to expectation.
That is what I'm going to.
That is it.
I'm just saying, I will still stand on it. You see, he has been a victim of Mbappe coming to Madrid.
Ancelotti was actually asked about Hendrick.
It was embarrassing to me.
And he said yes, his manager at Real Madrid.
Maybe he forgot that he was a manager.
Yeah, he actually, it was sarcastic. He knew what he was saying. But we're seeing what Chelsea actually, bring what Estevao brings into Chelsea when he joined up with Chelsea for the 2025-2026 this season. And we're also talking about one man who also played in the Spanish La Liga last season with Las Palmas, who has been relegated. Dario Essugo, which also signed them from Sporting Lisbon. Is there any chance of him breaking into this very competitive midfield setup? Knowing fully well that there's Andres Santos, there's a Romeo Lavia, there's Caicedo, there's what's it called, Enzo Fernandez in that midfield also. What is the possibility of Essugo breaking into that Chelsea starting 11?
Well, I don't think Chelsea have, actually come out to inform the fans or football world if he's going to stay, because for with Chelsea now, because we know Chelsea once they sign most of those players, they tend to send them on loan. He's still young, I think 20 years old, yes. And if he's even going to stay, probably stay till January, then send him on loan like they did with I think Chukwuemeka and co. So, but I don't think he's going to break into the team. I don't think he's better than Roman Lavia. And I don't think it's it's better than what's his name, the Andre Santos.
Yeah, mate. Yes, last season we saw, or was it called, Caicedo played the all 38 matches for Chelsea in the EPL. And if you've watched Essugo, play for Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon, also Las Palmas, they are almost, like for like when it comes to the way he tackles, the way he holds onto the ball. Do you think Chelsea will be keeping on to what's it called, Essugo?
Yeah, I think it depends on Lavia mainly. If Lavia is available and the medical staff authenticate it, I think Essugo will be going on loan, or maybe Lavia go on loan. Because you can't keep three holding midfielder. One will complain, and when there is grudge in the, you don't want to keep grudgy player in your squad. So I think Essugo mainly is for business. I think it's business because he's one of those players too that can mature over time. And if Chelsea could spend 115 on a defensive midfielder, another club might be willing to splash the cash too.
Okay, lastly on Chelsea, we're talking about Raheem Sterling will be returning from Arsenal on loan. Is there any still chance of him or a role for him at Chelsea, or is it just on passing through before another move? And Chelsea have said one thing, that he's not going to the club World Cup with Chelsea.
Yeah, Enzo Maestra said it immediately. He came in. He said he's not interested in Sterling. So I think Sterling will just find other suitable destination for him, and you just have to move on.
Why are you guys not keeping him? Because I saw in the news Arsenal signing his 9 years old kid to the youth team. Are you going to separate a father from a child now?
Well, the difference between Sterling contract with Arsenal and the one of Manchester United and Chelsea's talking about Jadon Sancho, there's obligation to buy, and for Chelsea, Sterling, there was no any obligation to buy at the end of the season. So I think we've done the right thing because he didn't actually live up. He told us when he come that we will see his best. We didn't see. I think we saw his worst. And it's the right thing for us not to return him. So if we are talking about pushing for the league, I don't think Sterling is the kind of player we need at the moment. So I think it's back to his rightful home.
Back to his rightful home. Okay, talking about Chelsea, and one man who has returned back to home has to be Jadon Sancho. They couldn't agree, personal terms with his agents. Do you think they are over asking? Are they asking too much? Are they overshooting, asking for £200,000 weekly for Jadon Sancho at Chelsea? Chelsea were ready to offer just £110,000 to £140,000 a week for the England international.
One thing I've noticed about players and is they don't like most of them don't want to, mostly the young guns. They don't like lowering their wages. They tend to increase the wage. And I think the issue probably Chelsea at the beginning they could have sit with him and talked tell him or talk to him about how the wage structure now at Chelsea, because if you look at Chelsea, they are trying to clear out those guys on big salary. Talking about Sterling, the guy from Chilwell, Fofana, So, but to me, I think I was really sad when I heard the news that Chelsea will not be, because I think I was in the studio here, but maybe. Few weeks ago, when I was asked should Chelsea be retaining, and I said if Chelsea make it through the Champions League, they should be retaining him. But if they fail to make the Champions League, they can easily pay that money. I think Chelsea, Jadon Sancho actually deserved, playing with Chelsea in the Champions League, because he worked for it. Nobody will say Sancho didn't. He actually worked for it. But since it's a salary issue, and he's not ready to lower his wages, and I don't think anybody's going to blame Chelsea for that, because Chelsea wants to sign him, but he doesn't want to, lower his wages. If he wants to remain at Chelsea, he would have lowered his wage. Probably he might also be thinking that he might not be getting a start, guaranteed start. So probably that's the reason. Just decided, let me just go back to Manchester United. I'll be getting that money. And what was they loan me to another club? Man U and the club will have to share the burden again. I think it still has about 3 years with Man U.
Okay. Yeah, mate. Chelsea have been linked to getting Garnacho still on that same week where they've lost Jadon Sancho. There's also Mijko Modric, who we don't really know his future with Chelsea, but Garnacho and Gittins been linked to Chelsea. Are they good replacements for Jadon Sancho who's leaving?
I think for me, Gittins will be a good replacement, especially the familiarity around Man City. A lot of Man City players are in the Chelsea setup. Even the coach, former Man City, even one of the guys running even the new side. Yeah, so when you look at those factors, that's why they are more serious on Gittins than Garnacho. But for me, I think that Jadon Sancho didn't cover himself in glory. He didn't deserve the amount he's asking for based on his performance at Chelsea. You cannot get, I think, 3 goals or 4 assists.
3, 4, yeah.
But those goals were crucial goals.
Yeah,
What
crucial goal, but
They were all crucial goals.
Crucial.
Yeah.
Why you not signing Sterling?
I have explained to you there's difference between. We didn't have any.
Will you take Arsenal signing Sancho?
I don't think Arsenal will be able to offer him that amount.
That amount.
Well, you expect Chelsea to offer him that amount?
No, I think, to be honest, if Sancho had given what he gave to Chelsea, helped us Arsenal, if he was at Arsenal last season and he gave what he gave, and despite helped us push Martinelli, I think they might be considering it, because you look at the Martinelli.
So we guys considered Ceballos when he came to Arsenal?
I think Ceballos was a bit,
You're always thinking that's my problem. That's the problem with
No. Ceballos wasn't completely.
You can be trying to pitch it here.
No,
Sancho, performance-wise, be objective about it. He does not deserve that 250. Is it what the 3 goals for assist?
I didn't say
No,
he deserved.
telling me.
No.
Okay.
I never said he deserved it, but I said
He scored 3 important goals. He scored 3 important goals.
What I said
out
is
of how many goals in the
important.
season? I don't know. Wait, he scored 3 important goals, Abi. If they remove his goal from the Conference League final, Chelsea will not win it.
I'm not saying that. What
No,
I'm saying,
I'm just saying now. No, you said it crucial. How?
Very important.
Chelsea qualified for the Champions League with 3-point gap. If he didn't equalize against Ipswich, we will lose 1 point. We will still qualify with 2 points. No, important goals, Abi. No, so when you start minusing it, see, let us call a spade a spade. 3 goals, 4 assists, 250k a week is nonsense. It's not even 150 that Chelsea is offering him. It's like Chelsea is just trying to be generous. 3 goals for assist. For what?
I don't know, but you guys got him on.
No.
You guys actually got him on a cheap. Is it not?
Okay, Chelsea will pay
on a 5 million 1 year. It's cheap.
It's a cheap.
It's cheap.
Of course, now we've seen players come for 8.
The same Arsenal. It's cheap.
Different clubs now.
Okay, Chelsea will be paying a penalty of £5 million out to Manchester United for returning or breaching that's an agreement on Jadon Sancho. So we wish Jadon Sancho a very good future wherever he'll be joining to. Probably he'll be joining to the Saudi Arabia League, because that is where this kind of players goes and they expect on that big money. Yes, he can be getting his 300, 350 when he goes to Saudi Arabia League. But one thing I really know is that I don't think any EPL club will be willing to pay Jadon Sancho that amount.